got married in 2013, right?
2000,
did.
yep, we did.
2013.
Yeah.
How did y'all meet? Oh, beautiful.
We met. Philippe was giving a speech about the BP oil spill in Los Angeles, and I went as a guest of a friend. So we went super early, and Philippe walked in, and I said, "Oh, who's that?" My friend said, "That's the guy giving the speech." I was like, "Oh, he looked really dorky in the photos. I'm so sorry."
It's true. I was on the beach in the Gulf of Mexico. I had like sandals on and shorts, and you know, we're in the mud and the oil.
Mandals.
It wasn't
Mandals.
great.
Mandel.
Yeah.
You had mandals on.
I agree. It wasn't a great photo. It was not a great photo.
But our eyes locked, and honestly, we've been together ever since.
And you were an explorer before you guys met, right? So you both, and your grandfather, obviously, Jacques Cousteau, is famous for exploration.
So I've traveled all over the world and did documentaries and films all about conservation, the oceans, exploration. And grew up with my grandfather. He had a huge influence on me and inspired me to do the work that I do.
And travel was always really important to me. And when I met Philippe, it just clicked. And we spent the whole night talking about travel, family, and the dogs that we've had over our life. And I had just rescued a dog, and I asked Philippe to go meet her that evening, and she liked him, and that was kind of it.
Yep. So I pushed
Been
my
together
flight
ever
back.
since.
We had dinner the next night, and then I flew out the next weekend, and we've been together ever since. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Let's talk about pirates, because this is the coolest part.
Who doesn't love pirates?
You guys are searching for pirate treasure. Do you get to keep the pirate treasure if you find it?
Well, it depends on the rules of the country that we're
If you don't tell
in.
anybody that you found it.
Yeah, I mean, a couple times we'd be like, okay, if I come up and my bathing suit looks really big for some reason all of a sudden, just don't film me.
Don't ask.
Show it.
I'm
Don't
gonna run
ask.
off. I'm gonna run off screen. But it does depend what country you're in and how far out how far away you are from the coast. But yeah, a lot of times we're actually working with governments to help them find something that they had lost, that was part of their history.
Absolutely.
Which is what just made it so incredible.
It's part of people's heritage, the islands, you know, and so we want to be able to give that back to those places and help them tell their story to tourists and et cetera. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite place that you've been? I'm sure every place is so different and special in its own way.
I would say, at least on the show, one of our favorite places that we went to in season 2 was Dead Man's Island. It literally looks like a dead man lying on his back when you approach the island. There's still real-life pirates, so we were escorted by the Navy and the Coast Guard with machine guns.
Whoa. So you, like, when you're surrounded by machine guns, people guarding you, do you get terrified?
No, you know, certainly preparation is key. It is exciting.
Yeah.
It is a little nerve-wracking sometimes, but that's part of the fun of all of this. Is get to go on
Definitely.
great adventures and see wild places.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we get to have fun.
Nature's so amazing, and that's
It
what
is.
always, every time we go out on something, be it looking for pirates or something that's more in nature sciences, we're just floored by how incredible our world is.
And bringing awareness to environmental issues as
What do
well.
you feel is the biggest environmental issue right now?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of them. Certainly climate change is a huge issue. Another issue that a lot of people are very familiar with is the plastics in the ocean. That's getting a lot of attention right now, and it's kind of representative of all the pollution that's going to the ocean. 75 years ago, my grandfather co-invented scuba diving. And before that, nobody had really understood what the oceans were like or what was in them. And so it's really only been 75 years we've been exploring the oceans, yet in that time we've dumped an inordinate amount of waste into them. And the oceans regulate our climate. We get so much food from the oceans. That's my father and my grandfather back in the day in the early aqualung. But the plastics is an issue that's very visible. There's been a lot in the press a lot. And
Is there a whole island of plastic?
Yeah, they're all over the ocean. Actually, so the big one
Multiple.
is in the Pacific, a gyre twice the size of Texas. This mass of plastics in the ocean, and they think there's somewhere around 30 or 40,000 pieces of plastic in every square mile of ocean. So it's a huge problem because not only is it unsightly and it's choking whales and things like that, it's also breaking into small little pieces. And it's being eaten by the fish. And when people eat the fish, we're eating all these bits of plastic that absorb all these toxins, so all these chemicals. So they're finding it's a real big health hazard for people as well, which is a big problem.
But it's something that people can actually do.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just every day when you go to the grocery store, just look at your packaging and, bring reusable water bottles, bring reusable bags, say no to plastic straws. People can make a difference.
If they quit buying them, then they'll quit making them.
Exactly.
Tell us about the EarthEcho Foundation.
Well, and that's EarthEcho International is a nonprofit that I founded about 15 years ago. We're one of the leading youth environmental education groups because, I grew up with my grandfather telling me stories about his adventures and all the great work that he did and really inspiring me. And I realized as a young person, that's really where you want to inspire people. And so EarthEcho is an organization dedicated to engaging young people around the world in solving environmental problems. Because when we talk about the environment, what we're talking about is air and water, We're talking about healthy communities. Those are kind of the simple things that we're trying to address and empower young people to do in their community. So
Absolutely.
it's a terrific organization, and we have programs in over 140 countries. So
Incredible.
fun.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, and that legacy is even more important
I know.
now.
Yes,
Now it means even more to us.
Yes.
How is
So,
this? Oh, go ahead.
Yes,
Sarah.
no, we are pregnant.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
And it's cool to travel when you're pregnant because essentially the baby has been through all these places
Yes,
as well.
yeah,
That's
the
right.
baby's been to, what do we figure out?
Egypt,
Egypt, Italy, and Hawaii already.
Yeah.
That's
Checking off
awesome.
its passport right
That's
now.
right. It's checking off the list.
There goes
The baby
Venezuela.
fish passport. Thank you, Philippe. Thank you, Ashlan.
Thanks for
for
having us.
having us, you guys.